So why is America so connected with slavery? It's like slavery was born here. However, in truth, the United States were probably the death of slavery. Trust me when I tell you, I analyzed everything. My only regret is that just getting started. Every title I write is basically a book. See, I wish I could put it all down, but I can only tell you about the points that get you to the next point, or we will be lost. I'll be writing a full report on this later, so you got to keep an eye out. Anyway, I have a good enough report for the subject. What I found is astonishing. I must break this down into a few points so that I don't get off topic too much and I don't linger on sensitive topics. However, the story of America is the greatest story ever told. Every step that has been taken to create America is a fight for freedom. The real fight. Every voice, every man, every woman, every child is a part of that fight. Born into it, bred into it, without even knowing it. There is just some things you don't talk about. Like men using the word of God to enslave people. Or kids killing kids. It's something that is unspoken. See, my father used to tell me stories of captured pregnant women in slavery times and how they would used to throw their babies overboard so that they would not have to live a life like this. Now imagine hundreds of women being taken from their homes, raped to make children, and then killed so that the new race isn't aware of the evil that you're committing. See, in 5 years, you'll have 1,000 men ready to die for their father. Look, maybe not exactly die, but you understand that this crime is the most wicked act because you erase what people were before, how they lived, what they ate to stay healthy, what they did to stay strong, their songs, the love in their bodies, and the natural way, so that they're so far from them, even the smallest thing, like the way that they walk and the way that they talk will diminish them over time. And they'll get more and more degraded throughout the generations. Meaning that once you cut them off from their way, it will damage you going into the other way. Nowadays, food is so regulated, look, that you can't get a McDonald's burger. You can get a McDonald's any country and it'll taste the exact same. But 100 years ago, we all lived like Amish people. And regulations weren't exactly standard, okay? And the only thing standard in America was the way you liked your eggs. Okay? It takes all of this. It takes all these people from their home like this. See, this is the ultimate harm that you can do to a race. You're not expecting them to survive. You just want them alive long enough to have offspring. Then you need to get rid of them, or they will teach the children how evil you are. See, the birth of America is riddled with massacres. This is because of what they know or who they are. What will men do to hide their atrocities? When the faces of your victims proves your guilt. I'm no longer seeing slaves or genocide. Slaves, you just want them to work and go home. Genocide is where you wipe out an entire race. In this so-called America, in this so-called American slavery, there are They are literally trying to terraform people, to transform the composition of a planet down to the molecule, so that the conditions of the planet mimic the conditions of my planet. In short, these men are playing God. I was starting to think that America doesn't even like slavery. From the evidence, it looked like they made it hard for slave owners to even live here. So I began to look up laws that stopped or prohibited slavery. In the beginning, I didn't find anything. No laws that stopped or even threatened to harm the function of slavery or slave owners. But what I know is that Lincoln freed the slaves. However, when I researched it, I realized that he didn't stop slavery or outlaw slavery. He abolished it. Now this is big. See, it's a big word if you own slaves. See, today we say, oh, we were freed. No. See, however, there are a few things that you need to take into account. When laws are enacted, it's usually to change or renew an existing law. When you make a new law, it may take time for that law to take effect. And then you have grandfather laws that supersede the new law, like lead pipes. See, you don't need to change the lead pipes in your home unless you plan to sell it. See, so you could probably still keep your slaves once they say slavery is no longer legal. Now, if you change the law or remove the law, slave and slave owner, they have options. You see, if you just take away the law, they can, if you just change the grandfather law will supersede. See, that law will allow slavers to stay in operations. The ones that are already in operation, they'll be allowed to stay operating. Stopping the law takes time, and the owner will have months or years to restructure their slave society. And they can just say, they can call it a business, or, you know, we're just camping here. They can rename their industry to make it sound friendly, or they can relocate to a slave-safe state. Now, abolishing stops all that. By abolishing slavery, you eradicate it. You start all the way back in its beginning, and you erase the hold that it has on our history. It will be stricken from the book. Take it off the record. See, when you abolish it, you actually go back to when the law was first enacted, and we curse it. No, we're going to remove the law from when it was first put in. So even the grandfather law, even the people that are already in business, even the people that have their paperwork right, now, none of it is legal. This is what the war was about. This is why he's killing, because our family business that we've been here for the last 100 years, you're saying for the last 100 years, it's illegal. Basically, and we owe money or we have to do something to change that. And that's what created such a fuss. Not because we don't like slavery, because we took such a strong stance that it made men get up and fight a war over it. The term, the value, the very meaning of the words will be changed. The term, the value, the very meaning of the words will be changed, so that no one will ever know the truth about such heresy. The word heresy itself is all about the transfer. The word heresy itself has been transferred to hearsay. In other words, slavery was transformed. Slavery, was terraformed in America. It's almost like someone was trying to rid the world of evil. And then I laughed. Because rid evil, it rhymes with medieval. Then a lightning strike hit me. What if they were trying to get rid of evil? However, they found out that they were in the midst of it. Hence, medieval times. Then I naturally assumed that slavery must have been rampant throughout the world. But how? How can so many people be enslaved? It's like most of the world is a slave. It's like there are very few people that have money. There must be a common way to become a slave. But it took me a long time. I never realized it, but I heard a little voice in my head whisper to me, and it said, "Dead."